Yorktown residents are still feeling the effects of the weekend's water main break. Tonight on NewsLink Indiana, what crews are doing now and when the water will be able to drink without boiling.
And the latest on the Mega Millions lottery jackpot, where the total is now and when your next chance to win is.
It was a mild day overall, but the cool temperatures make a comeback later in the week. I'll have the details in just a few minutes.
From the heart of Ball State University, live from the Unified Media Newsroom, NewsLink Indiana starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being with us. I'm Jeremy Masukovich.
And I'm Camille Breck. A water main break in Yorktown Saturday is still affecting residents. They're currently under a boil order for drinking and cooking water.
NewsLink Indiana's Michelle Kaufman talked to a Yorktown resident and found out when the water may be safe to drink again.
Signs were posted in the windows of several downtown Yorktown restaurants today due to the boil order. The Hideout was open, and the owner tells me they boiled water and are storing it to use in order to keep their doors open. Chris Day lives in Yorktown and called the boil order an inconvenience more than anything.
We keep bottled water on hand, so we brought in a dozen bottles and set them next to each sink for two reasons. One is a reminder to not drink the water there, but two, so that you've got it right there just in case you need to have it for whatever reason.
The closing of Osborne's also affected Day's schedule. Edward Jones was supposed to host an event there tomorrow, but had to make other plans.
This afternoon, as we were making final arrangements, it occurred to us that they may not be open because when we went out for lunch, several of the restaurants were not offering fountain beverages, and so therefore we put two and two together that might be an issue, and sure enough, they're closed.
Street Department Office Manager Aaron Hurley said that because the water had to be shut off during the leak, the pressure dropped, requiring the town to test for bacteria in the water.
In those tests, two tests have to be 24 hours apart. So the first test is already at the lab. Assuming it comes back okay, we do another test in 24 hours, and then we have to wait for the lab to process that. And assuming that second test is okay, then we can remove the boil order.
In Muncie, Michelle Kaufman, NewsLink, Indiana.
Yorktown says the water is safe for bathing and other uses.
To stay updated on the situation, follow Yorktown on Facebook. So at Tailgate this weekend, the weather, it was just so windy outside.
I saw tents flying all over the place. Thankfully, it was a little more mild today. Gabe, what do you have for us?
Yeah, breezy day today and actually warmer than what we've seen as of late. Outside right now, 56 here in Muncie, 53 in Indianapolis, 51 in Kokomo. We reached a high of 66 degrees today. That's actually above our average for this time of year. Typically around 62 degrees, not near the record, but considering how we've been below average lately, that's a big change. But temperatures this evening drop down to 50 degrees by 11, 48 by 1, down into the lower 40s as we bottom out tonight. And those clear conditions look to continue as we move through the evening and the rest of the week. I'll have the details on that full 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
The East Central Indiana Transgender Alliance held their first event Saturday, a gender-affirming clothing takeaway. Community members were able to pick out clothes that were donated from people as far away as Virginia. Around 30 people attended the event, and some were able to take home boxes of clothes. Vivian Edwards helped organize the event and said when she came out and wore a dress for the first time, she couldn't wear her men's clothing anymore.
I just could not wear them anymore. Like, I would rather wear the same dress every day than have to wear men's clothing. It's kind of level beyond words to just get to be yourself, in a sense.
Edwards said the group hopes to hold more clothing takeaways in the future. The remaining clothes were given to Gamma Rho Lambda and the YWCA.
The 2018 midterm election is almost 2 weeks away. It will tip the balance of who controls the Senate with key races here in the Hoosier State, Texas, and Missouri. NewsLink Indiana's Brenton Roy is seeing what campus organizations are doing to get out the vote.
With the midterm election 15 days away, campaigns are running on full cylinders to reach voters through yard signs and ads both on TV and online. If you're a millennial, you may feel particularly targeted by these ads, as many campaigns try to appeal to the younger demographic. Student organizations like the Ball State University Democrats and College Republicans promote student political involvement and heavily encourage students to register and vote. I caught up with College Democrat co-president Dominic Bardnaro and College Republican Chairman Isaac Miller for their perspective on student involvement.
We've been all over campus doing voter registration up until that voter registration deadline, which was a few weeks ago. Across campus, we've mostly been at the Scramble Light, the Quad. We've gone into some academic buildings. We've taken voter registrations to professors to hand out to their students. Our numbers show that we registered about 750 students across campus, which was really exciting.
We have not done anything to register students to vote on campus. The primary reason being that typically and statistically students don't vote. So if you want to get out the vote, especially on the Republican side, it's more effective to either go door knocking or distribute campaign literature or volunteer on campaigns themselves.
Many television pundits have already expressed which party they think will come out on top in the midterm election, but with the upset win of Donald Trump in 2016, the results could still be up in the air. In Muncie, I'm Brenton Roy, NewsLink, Indiana.
Recent polling by ABC News shows that Democrats are likely to gain the major ground in the House, with a poll from the New York Times showing evidence that Republicans are likely to continue holding a majority in the Senate.
2 teenagers are in trouble tonight after terrorizing homeowners early this morning. The Star Press reports police were called to the 800 block of North Jefferson Avenue. The teens allegedly forced their way into a home and demanded cash and other items. The 2 teens were taken into custody. One of those teenagers is known to police and was armed with a gun. Neither of the homeowners were injured in the incident. One Ball State student has been leading his family throughout his life. NewsLink Indiana's Tucker White has the story on how this ROTC cadet realized his full potential after joining the program.
Ball State junior Nicholas Nagurski believes being the oldest grandson of Italian immigrants has helped mold him into the leader he is today.
It means that you're always the first one, you're always leading, you're always setting the example for all the other grandkids. And so going to college, serving in the military, being the first to go is setting the standard for all those that follow after me. So I find it's extremely humbling.
Nagurski's previous leadership positions paid off when he became the Ball State First Sergeant.
Fall in. See the report.
While there are plenty of responsibilities that come with being a First Sergeant, Nicholas shares what keeps him motivated.
Knowing what your why is keeps you going. It just helps the process overall.
Even though his military career is just beginning, he has his career planned out.
But as of right now, I plan to go branch military intelligence in the reserves, hope to go out to DC area, find a reserve unit out there, as well as continue to get my PhD in computer science.
In Muncie, Tucker White, NewsLink, Indiana.
In addition to being part of the ROTC program, he is also the vice president of Phi Kappa Psi.
Coming up next, the latest on the Mega Millions jackpot, how high it's climbed, and when you can win.
And what's going on with the polio-like illness that's hitting the nation. We'll have the details after the break.
No more, he didn't mean it.
No more, she seems fine to me.
No more, not my problem.
No more, she was drunk.
No more, he was drunk.
No more, she was asking for it.
No more, he didn't mean it.
No more, why didn't she tell anyone?
No more, we don't talk about that.
No more bystanding.
No more ignorance.
No more excuses.
No more.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
Welcome back. If you haven't yet bought a lottery ticket, you have until tomorrow for your next chance at the Mega Millions lottery jackpot.
The national drawing has hit a record $1.6 billion. Don't get your hopes up, however, because the odds of winning that grand prize are just 1 in 302 million.
The Powerball jackpot is also still growing. It is now at an estimated $620 million for Wednesday night's drawing. This is the 5th largest jackpot in U.S. history.
Where you could live could determine how long you'll live. That's great news for people in Spain, who now can expect to have the longest lifespan by 2040. Kim Hutcherson shows us where Americans rank.
Bad news for Americans, living longer, healthier lives doesn't come easily in the U.S. According to a new study published in the journal Lancet, in 20 years, the U.S. will have the biggest drop in life expectancy ranking of all high-income countries, falling from 43rd place in 2016 to 64th place by 2040. At that point, the average life expectancy should be 79.8 years. And while the global average is expected to rise by 4.4 years over the next 2 decades, for Americans, that number will only increase by 1.1 years. The 2 biggest factors in the decline of life expectancy in the U.S. are increases in drug-related deaths and obesity. The report says people in Spain are expected to live the longest by 2040, an average of 85.8 years, just beating out Japan, which has long held the #1 position. The bottom 2 spots on the list belong to Lesotho and the Central African Republic, both with life expectancies of less than 60 years. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
The study says Syria will see the largest rise, adding more than 10 years to the average lifespan.
The CDC says that more than 150 cases of a polio-like illness are now under investigation nationwide. The agency announced 28 new cases of the illness known emerged last week, mostly affecting kids. So far, 62 cases of AFM have been confirmed in 22 states. The disease affects the area of the spinal cord called gray matter and can cause paralysis. It's unknown why some patients fully recover. The average age of patients with the condition is just 4 years old, but typically occur in children under the age of 18. President Donald Trump announced the U.S. will withdraw from a nuclear arms treaty that's been around for decades, and Russian officials are not happy. The Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty was brokered by Ronald Reagan and the former Soviet leader. Trump says Russia and China are violating the agreement, and he wants the U.S. out of it. The Kremlin spokesman says Russia would be, quote, forced to respond if the U.S. develops new missiles. He also says that Russian President Vladimir Putin believes the U.S. has violated the treaty. Russian Foreign Minister also released a statement.
We are responsible for global stability. We hope that the United States will not give up its share of responsibility either.
The former Soviet leader is responding to Trump's actions. He commented that ending the treaty would be a threat to world peace.
Muncie has placed a high value on helping out its community, and the Twisted Wrench Club is doing just that. Held yesterday at Camac Station in Yorktown, the Twisted T Wrench Club put on an open car show in order to raise money for different charities. Mindy Gregory, one of the original founders of the club, shares what their car shows have done in the past.
We done money for the veterans. In May and June of this year, we raised money for a teacher that's fighting breast cancer. And we was able to give her like $2,700, and then we do Toys for Tots, the animal shelter. It brings us together to help make the community stronger.
With yesterday's proceeds going to help pay for the 2019 Special Needs Prom, the Twisted Wrench Club is excited to see what else they can do in the future. Well, it was a beautiful day walking to class today. I had some sun peeking in from everywhere I looked.
Yeah, it was very nice outside. You only really needed a light jacket out there. It was great.
Yeah, we're going to see temperatures drop into the lower 40s, though they'll drop further than that later in the week. Coming up.
For those who serve today and those who served before them. For those who serve today and those who served before them. For those whose sacrifice will never end. The Gary Sinise Foundation shows its gratitude through entertainment, outreach, and life-changing support. We can never give enough, but we can always give a little more. Find out how you can donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Sometimes there's no do-over. Some things you can't rewind. That's when an extra safety step could mean the difference between a close call and a call to 911. Simple steps save lives. Learn more at poolsafely.gov.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
All right, guys, it's time for weather. Let's throw it over to Gabe. Gabe, what do you have for us?
Yeah, warm temperatures today, pretty mild start overall, and clear conditions over the area. And that's reflected on our satellite radar right now over the area. Very clear conditions, just some high-level clouds overall, but the big story in the national picture and international scene is Hurricane Willa moving off the coast of Mexico, the Pacific coast, right now just to the west of Puerto Vallarta. It's a very strong Category 4 hurricane at the moment. Winds of 150 miles an hour. It's going to continue to move on off to the north and west, expected to make landfall tomorrow as a major hurricane in Mexico. So some major problems could be occurring there. That's something we're tracking closely on the international scene. Now here locally, pretty nice at night out there so far. 56 degrees for the current conditions. Winds starting to calm down just out of the west-southwest at 6 miles an hour. And across the area, we've seen temperatures warm up quite a bit since this time yesterday. 12 degrees warmer than this time yesterday in Muncie, 12 degrees warmer as well in Indianapolis, and right around 10 degrees warmer in Fort Wayne. Those winds have come down again, as I said earlier, a little bit now out of the southwest at 8 miles an hour in Indianapolis, only down to 3 miles per hour in Terre Haute. We're going to continue to see those calm down a bit as we move through the evening. Temperatures down to 41 degrees this evening. Mostly clear conditions overall as we make our way through the evening. And into the day tomorrow, those winds shift out of the northwest. So cooler conditions during the day tomorrow, 42 as you're heading out to your early morning class. Sunny conditions as well, 50 degrees by noon and up to a high of 53 by 5 p.m. Again, as I said, those northwesterly winds are going to bring temperatures down quite a bit and cool them down quite a bit tomorrow night. Temperatures only getting all the way down to the mid-30s across the area. So big drop from temperatures today, and that cool trend continues into next week. And the next 6 to 10 day outlook has temperatures well below average across our area. Again, this is an average, so we could see some warmer temperatures overall, but this is the main story, and it looks to continue into the coming weeks. The good news on the 7-day forecast, though, is dry conditions overall as we make our way through the week. The temperature is struggling to reach 50 degrees. Rain does return, though, to the picture this weekend. It doesn't look like it's going to be a washout by any means, though that threat for rain is there. That's something we're watching closely, although conditions do look like they're going to start to dry out during the day on Monday, guys. So hopefully you like the fall conditions, because it's going to feel like it definitely as we move through the next week.
Yeah, I feel like we've been putting them off. It's about time they come sneak up on us.
Yeah, that's right.
Definitely. All right, Ben, can you tell us what's coming up in sports?
Well, it's cool this week, just like it was this past weekend. Ball State football had their homecoming game, but it wasn't as happy of a homecoming as the Cardinals would have liked. We got highlights and more after the break.
Isn't this perfect?
It was my pleasure. May I?
Adam, I can't thank you enough for saving me from that sweepstakes scam. I could have lost everything.
It was a classic cat and mouse game. Remember, you never have to pay to play.
You're my hero.
Oh.
After all these years. What's the matter, Adam? Cat got your tongue?
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Welcome back. I'm Ben Sherman with sports. Ball State football was in a must-win game against Eastern Michigan this past Sunday. A win put the Cardinals back into contention for a bowl game, and a loss, and Ball State has to win 3 of their last games to reach 6 wins. NewsLink Indiana's Rachel Berry has more.
Homecoming, a time and a game that every team wants to win. But sadly, not every team can win. Ball State lost to Eastern Michigan this past weekend right here at Schumann Stadium, 42-20. Let's see how they did.
40-mile-per-hour winds gusted over the field, making Saturday's game tough for both teams. Eastern Michigan had total domination over Ball State, leading the entire game. The Eagles' defense suffocated the Cardinal offense, forcing 2 turnovers, cashing in on touchdowns both times. In the end, it was Ball State's offense that was ineffective, needing an 80-yard rushing touchdown to put the Cardinals over 300 yards of total offense.
The Cardinals will be back in action this coming Thursday at 7 p.m. at Ohio University and here at Schumann Stadium on November 13th. In Muncie, I'm Rachel Berry, NewsLink, Indiana.
The Cardinals will look to get their 3rd win over Ohio in their last 4 meetings on Thursday. Well, Ball State men's golf is at the Makitawa Country Club in Cincinnati for the Musketeer Classic. Play halted midway through the 2nd round due to frost delay earlier in the morning. Ball State ended the day 2nd on the leaderboard behind Ohio State. The Cardinals finished 7th over par, 8 strokes back of the Buckeyes. Keegan Brandenburg was the top scorer for Ball State, shooting 4 under par for round 1 and is currently 2 under par for the tourney. Head coach Mike Fleck says that he's confident that his team won't back down to Ohio State or any of the bigger schools.
It gives us the confidence in knowing that we can compete with some of the better teams around the country. I mean, you know, even though we're, you know, kind of a few shots back from Ohio State now, I know our guys aren't going to be afraid and you know, to go out and try to stick to the process of trying to play the best they can and hopefully close that gap.
Ball State will continue round 2 tomorrow morning at 9. Well, a couple of Delaware County volleyball teams punched their tickets to the semi-state this past weekend. The Yorktown Tigers rolled over the Fishers Tigers, taking the match in a 3-set sweep. Meanwhile, Newcastle also won in a 3-set sweep, taking down the West Noble Chargers. Both Yorktown and Newcastle play this Saturday as Yorktown takes on Penn and Newcastle takes on New Prairie. And guys, Ball State women's soccer won their 6th straight game this past Sunday. They had their final game of the regular season on Thursday, and on Sunday they host a MAC quarterfinal at home.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that.
Right. And we're going to come up with trending up next. Thanks, guys.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Problems. The ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround a community's most critical problems, and we fight. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
It doesn't take a scientist to cure hunger or a fancy economist to create safe housing. It takes imagination, creativity, sweat equity. And I think of kids going to school hungry. Hunger, homelessness. In this land of plenty, seriously? Come on, we could fix this. Help out, or don't. The choice is yours.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
Welcome back. Time now to take a look at what's trending.
Joining us now is NewsLink Indiana's Michelle Kaufman. Michelle, what do you have for us?
Good evening. So one photographer is taking to social media searching for a couple after capturing their amazing cliff-top marriage proposal. While photographing at Yosemite National Park, Matthew Dipple was preparing to capture a stunning landscape, and that's when he spotted the picture-perfect cliff-top moment by chance. The amazing photo, of course, has gone viral, and now Dipple is using the power of social media to try to track down the happy couple.
Didn't have a whole lot of time to act. I pointed my camera at him and snapped away. And I'd really like to share it with you because it's truly a beautiful moment.
The Ball State debate team competed in their second debate of the semester at Anderson University on Saturday against schools from 5 other states. The team was second place overall, and 6 individual members of the team won awards in crossfire and traditional debate. Senior Sarah Meyer won first place speaker in varsity.
This semester we get one resolution which we keep for the entire semester. This semester's resolution is Puerto Rican statehood would be beneficial. And so that's a really interesting topic, not one that I really knew very much about. So this gave me a really great opportunity to research it. Getting top speaker was really exciting.
Guys, I've covered the debate team for a few years now, and they always do really well, especially at nationals in the spring, so it's exciting to see their success continue already at the start of this semester.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, what's no debate, though, is the cool temperatures coming up this week. We've got temperatures well below average, about 10 degrees below average overall, though dry and sunny conditions in store for most of the rest of the week. Though rain does come back into the picture into the weekend, maybe a slight chance of rain for Friday night and into the weekend, though it's not going to be a washout by any means. Just something to keep in mind, maybe keep the umbrella or jacket handy.
That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.